Hello and welcome, Arjun, and welcome to the first edition of Espresso.
Yeah,
what a
thank you.
pleasure to have you. And after I watched Daddy, what a fabulous film. I was like, I have to ambush you in your den and ask you a few questions. I mean, it was a wonderful film about a gangster and Arun Gowli, well known in Mumbai.
Correct.
But what was remarkable to me was that you've turned producer,
Okay.
and you've written it also, right? So a lot of creativity in that, and it's such a fabulous movie. So how
Oh,
are
great.
you feeling?
Yeah, it feels great, I mean, it's the first time I've really approached a film like that, And it happened really organically and accidentally. It wasn't like your conventional ways of making a film where you had a script, you had a director, a producer, and I was just the actor. It started off trying on that conventional note, but I was not happy with that script, and that time there was another producer on it. But the more I got into it, and the more I started researching about Arun Gowli, and the more I got the information from people, which was so exciting, and the stories and everything that came together, I started putting all those little incidents together, and that's how I kind of became this accidental writer.
Yeah.
That producer thought I was the worst writer maybe on the planet, so he ran away and left us. And he did not have the rights, as he had promised me that he had the rights and everything to make a biopic. And I was wondering, why is this guy not wanting to show
he didn't have the rights.
He didn't. So he had said that he had the rights. So yeah, it was a bit of a con job there. So and I got Osham involved. Okay, there was another director earlier. Okay, that guy said he got the rights and this, that, and the other, which was not true.
Okay.
And then finally, I mean, when we put a team together for this producer, he backed off. And that's how I became the accidental producer. But I'm good that these good accidents happen, because it really was a film which required a producer to come on board and not think in the conventional manner to be able to make the kind of film. That means no item songs, no, jumping over rooftops or bare-bodied sequences, or, those kind of things.
Not the cliche.
Yeah, which kind of is what you've kind of seen in every film.
Yes.
And it required to be real, because we did get the rights from Arun Gowli. We had a stamp of approval to go and shoot it, and we wanted to make it really, really in the way which we wanted to narrate it, which is not make it a propaganda film, not make it about Arun Gowli, just the Robin Hood or the Messiah or the gangster. It was about him as a human, So approach was like that, and I'm very proud of it. I think people who have watched the film have really, really loved it, and not one person I know has said that, oh God, what did you make? They've all been like, wow, you guys made this, and I think that's really been superb.
No, it is a very well crafted film. Also, like now, in the story, like Arun Gowli has his wife, who is obviously a major part of his life and his support system, and his daughter. And the women in your life, what did they think of you being this gangster in this movie? And it's so realistic, it's not.
They all said 5 stars for you.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, even my daughter saw it.
Okay.
And they watched at this screening which we had for cast and crew. Even though we had an A certificate, I said it's okay. They can watch it, because I really don't feel.
How old are they now?
The elder one is 16, going to turn 16, and the younger one's 11.
Okay.
But both of them were totally into the story,
Right.
and they really enjoyed it. Even my nephew really enjoyed it. So, I mean, you tell a good story, I think, and you put it together in a particular way and transport them into that world, of the 70s. It becomes exciting for people to watch. So they really liked it, and I was very happy.
And what did Meher think of it? Because growing up, she would have known the story.
She had no clue.
She had no clue.
No
Okay.
clue about
Okay.
Arun Gowli. Even though she lives close, grew up in an area in Dadar, they weren't really very. They're not. The Parsis don't get into that.
Right.
So for her, initially it was like, wow, man, this guy, you're making a story on him. And then obviously they've seen me in the process of doing it. So they knew we were doing something crazy, and but I never really bring them to the set, or I don't get them involved, because it's always nicer to have that sense of surprise for them as well when they watch it, so that there's no preconceived notions about what you're going to watch. And I think that's the best way you get the most honest reaction.
But are they sort of, you hear a lot of talk about Bollywood kids and, it's the media's new fascination sort of thing. Do they, but you've managed to keep them like quite low-key and don't see that much of them, okay, except occasionally.
Yeah.
And, do you think they're interested in movies, or it's too early for them yet? Or?
Well, I don't know, both their parents come from a creative world, so I'm sure they're more inclined towards that. Right. Both my daughters take part in school plays and drama, and they're good at it. That's nice. And they're good. So I encourage that. But will they do that? I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I think it's too early for them to decide.
They don't have a definitive thought.
Yeah, they're definitely going to go more towards, I think, arts. The younger one is an excellent artist. Okay, she paints, and the elder one is more into drama and theatrics and loves films, but not really our films. Okay. Okay. They got more exposure, I think, these days, so they look at the West more. Okay. They prefer the quality of writing, music, and just watching the films. They prefer those films. Yeah. They don't watch that many Hindi movies.
So it was a relief that they both loved Daddy, right?
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know how they were going to get it, if they would get it, understand it or not understand it. But because you live so closely with a film, you know every little piece of it. There's a lot of big critiques who found the narrative a little disorienting for them. Right. So I was like, okay, so if a 15-year-old gets it and that guy doesn't, then, it was a relief. Yeah. That a 15-year-old got it.
No, it's. I think we sometimes underestimate the young in terms of what they can understand.
I think we just underestimate our audience. The problem is, in India, I think we, as filmmakers, we treat our audience like children. We really think that they're stupid, and that's how you want to always constantly do, and that's why we end up doing the kind of films mostly that we do.
Too much second guessing of what.
Not second guessing, yeah. They second guess it. They say, will it work in Punjab? Will it work in Bihar? Will it work in the South? Will it work, in Maharashtra? So you kind of are trying to make it. When you make a film, it almost looks like a complete Indian meal, where you have dal also, chawal also, you'll have roti also with it, you will have sabzi also, you'll have some non-veg also, and then you have to have a sweet dish. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So that's the kind of recipe you make even for your films. Yeah. And because you try to, I think, please so many different palates, we kind of end up diluting a story, and we don't concentrate really on that.
So you're not being true to any one particular thing.
What you went out to make. What is it that you went out to make? I just believe, which is really unfortunate, is we end up making more proposals than films. And that's the biggest problem which this industry will face if we don't pull up our socks. Today you have foreign films that come in, they do far bigger business, even though for them this is just a market they're still testing. Yeah. But the more you're seeing, you're seeing more and more films coming out from there, and audiences going there. You dub that in Tamil, you dub that in Hindi, you dub it in Punjabi, you dub it in, Telugu, in different languages. Those foreign films, they're doing great business with those audiences. So we will have to raise the bar. We will have to start working more and understanding very clearly that nothing is bigger than the script and the story. We work more on a level of a proposal. Okay, you've got this actor, this actress, this. Now let's think about the story.
True. What suits them.
Yeah, and then you make it around that. Yeah. So, I don't think that's the correct approach.
Another very powerful thought from your movie, which was that victim of circumstances, right. And which the protagonist is to a certain extent, and then things happen. In your life, from Deolali and to supermodel, to an actor, and now like to producer and writer as well. How would you say that, have you been a victim of circumstances because you're so good looking and, people kind of tend to slot you in a certain way, and now have you changed that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't try to change anything. I think the idea is to really make a film from your heart, and any work that you do. If you do it honestly, you're going to find something good there. But as victim of circumstances, I think we all are. I think not just me or Arun Gauli or you, or I think every individual finally becomes an outcome of each experience that they go through, and you react to every action has a reaction. So you react in that manner. You learn from them, you learn from a lot of things that you do. You make a lot of mistakes in your life. And it's good to make mistakes, because it's otherwise you will never and accept your mistakes. I think that's what's very important to do. So certain circumstances you react badly in, okay, and the outcome of that becomes bad. Okay, certain circumstances you don't react at all in, okay, and you're stuck in the same place, and certain circumstances you take as a challenge and you say, no, I will get the best outcome out of this, and you will achieve the best outcome from it. So it's the approach really that one takes, and I think that is so important I'm glad you said that, because that is so important in the narrative for any film to have, because those become your moments in the film, and if you don't have good circumstances, you don't have a movie. Like when I always love that line which said, did you have a good life? Good enough to make a movie on, So, I mean, that's what a good life is. It's about good experiences and bad experiences, scary experiences, challenging experiences, sad experiences, happy experiences. All these things make up a good life. Yeah.
In the movies, when you make a good film, has that brought around, do you feel that now people have started taking you more seriously as an actor after, not just the number of years, but the fact that I was going through your films, and it's been quite a variety. It's not the usual run-of-the-mill romantic films that one would expect. You've had an Inkar, which is about sexual harassment at workplace. You've had, Rajniti. You've done Chakravyuh with Prakash Jha. So interesting set, now Daddy. So very interesting set of films. Have people started taking you more seriously?
So I think definitely with Daddy, I think there's definitely something where people say, okay, he's produced it. You can see the effort that's gone into the detailing and the production values of the film, the kind of film that we wanted to make, and we stuck by it, and didn't cop out or sell out, and I really genuinely feel that it's definitely the most challenging part and the best work that I've done till date. Right. You see it, the trollers on Twitter, when they come and they were like, Arjun ke sab paap maaf. Okay, and I crack up about it too. So it's good, it's a good feeling on that level. Do I do it for people to take me seriously? No. You just do it because that's the job that you do. People are going to have their opinions. If I have to sit there trying to please everybody's opinions, I'll go mad. And that's really not why I'm here. I'm here to do the kind of work I believe in, hopefully create a larger and larger audience that starts enjoying that kind of work. And and now today as a producer, I feel there were many scripts which I had, which I really wanted to do. But I know I can't do them anymore because they're for a much younger person, and that doesn't mean that I'm going to go and do them, just because I have the opportunity to do it today, but they're great scripts and those stories need to be told. So maybe, I will be looking for people like that to work with and collaborate with, who, I would maybe produce the film and somebody else would act in it, though I would have acted in it if I was maybe 15 years younger.
Who are the younger actors that you would like to work with, now that, you might be open to that?
There's so many. I mean, all of them are really good. I think all of them definitely have what's really good about all the new breed of actors is that they're willing to push the envelope. You know, you can see that. You know, I've always loved Ranbir Kapoor's work.
Right.
You know, I think he's one of the most versatile
I
actors.
worked with him in Roy.
Yeah, Roy and Rajniti, you know, and I really like his body of work and the kind of choices that he makes and the way he approaches each part. You know, if it's a really commercial film or even if it is something completely different, he has a sense of entertainment always in it. He's never boring to watch.
Right.
You know. Another youngster who I really feel is knows his job, knows his craft really well, and keeps excelling in it, and is very enjoyable to watch, is Ranveer Singh. You know, I thought initially when he had come, I really thought like, okay, you know, he's got too much energy and he's just, but the way he's channelized it, you know, and the way he's kind of, you know, grown, you know, and can also be in control, can give a controlled performance and not just a very theatrical performance, which is also difficult to do. Okay, he has a lot of, you know, scale and thing. And of course there's Varun Dhawan there, who, you know, is definitely super talented.
Right. Yeah, they're all in different spaces, but doing exceedingly good.
But really good. No, and they all have a lot of, you know that these boys will, you know, have a really good and long career, and I hope that they do.
You're friends with pretty much a lot of people in the industry, even though you don't belong to the industry. Was it difficult? Like, you know, there's a lot of sort of talk now about breaking into the industry, how difficult it is. Did you face that when you came in?
Yes, it's always difficult to, you know, this is an industry which is really small.
Right.
It's closely knit. I think, and it's not a very, people you meet in this industry are just not very secure.
Okay.
You know, there is, this profession brings a
Is it
lot
more
of,
than other professions? I mean, modeling is also a very competitive profession.
No. I mean, really, because the stakes are much higher. Okay. You know, there is tremendous amount of insecurity, I find, in our industry. Primarily because that's the way it works. On a Friday, you could be king, okay, or you could be down in the dumps. Swings like that. There's no in between. There's nothing like that. So yes, so people don't have time. That's the most important thing, you know. It's not that, okay, somebody's coming, so let's put out the red carpet for them, you know, and let's, you know, bring them into the industry. No, even if that person is talented or whatever it is, they will wait to watch the person. They will wait to see the body of work that the person does, the temperament of that person. You know, they will suss you out. You're not just going to get in very easily. And I think it's the correct way, because it teaches you to become you know, and to know, okay, fine, I need to have a certain amount of character, strength of my own, and not be dependent on anybody. If you just jump into somebody's lap and somebody embraces you, okay, that dependency kind of creeps in, and that dependency is going to end up becoming your downfall. So it's important that even when you're not coming from within the industry, or you're coming from within it, okay, both ways you are not, what do you say, mollycoddled? Yeah, is that the word? Yeah, mollycoddled through
There's
it.
no like red carpet laid out.
No, it shouldn't
you have
be.
to find your way.
You have to discover it. That's what, you know, this profession is about. You know, you have to deal with your failures and successes with the same amount of dignity and grace, and I think that's what's key.
You're also supposed to be like this very spiritual person. I read somewhere that you meditate before, you know, you're really into meditation, and before a performance you
not before my performance.
No,
nothing
but
like that. Nothing like that. I start my day with meditation.
Okay.
And I think that's very important. You need me time, you know.
Just put your thoughts together.
It's not about putting your thoughts together, it's by not thinking.
Okay.
You know, not thinking about anything.
Very zen.
By going into, like this, for me, is just the vehicle. You know, the true you is your soul. You know, so to give food to the soul, you know, replenish that soul, to go and spend time with that soul within him, which is the true you. you know, this is just a costume. You know, the soul is the real actor, and the costume is what you put on. And today I have this costume of Arjun, and tomorrow it could be a costume of somebody else when the soul moves on and leaves and fed up of Arjun. So that's what is meditation, is to getting in touch with your soul.
Your family, what are your parents, sister, Meher and the kids? Normally, like, you know, what is their take? Are they reality checks? Because kids are like lovely when it comes to reality
checks. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Does that, sort of ever work as a filter?
I think I'm becoming more of their reality checks right now.
Is it? What is it that you do?
Sign the checks.
No. Are you strict with the kids though?
No, not at all. No, I can't be.
Because
you have to be a friend. I know even Meher is a friend. I mean, we both have made our children grow up to not fear. Yeah. I think that's the most important thing, especially in today's time. Mm-hmm. You know, you want them to be, you want to be their confidant. You know, you want them to come and talk to you about everything, and not hide anything. You know, or something bad happens to them, don't feel guilty. You know, or if they do something bad, then learn from that mistake and not like punish them. You know, and not be like, because I remember all of us when we grew up, we were always intimidated by our parents. You know, because our parents were intimidated by their parents. But in today's time, parents, where do they have that time to just, you know, spend that much time with their children? Right? So I don't get to spend that much time with my kids, which is the only bad part of my profession. You know, because it really absorbs you, this industry, and, you know, sucks everything out of you and takes a lot of your time. So it's important for me to, when I have time with them, to just have the best time. And, you know, they should just, it shouldn't be like, oh, who's he? You know, is he a stranger? If I was intimidating and I suddenly just come home, it would be really awkward. You know, and I don't want to create any awkward.
What do you do when you spare time with them? I mean, when you spend time with them?
Well, I listen to them.
Okay.
I think that's the most important thing.
Do you bond over music? Because you are very interested.
Yeah, I love music, but my music they don't like, and their music I hate. So
they recommended Lady Gaga to you.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. But Mahika did that, and thanks to her, she was here. So, but still, I mean, for me, I think bonding time with them is really, you know, how we talk, you know, and they have great sense of humor, you know, they are great mimics.
Okay.
You know,
do they imitate you?
Yeah. They imitate everybody. They imitate their dadi, they'll imitate the aunts, they'll imitate
teachers.
Meher, myself, teachers. So it's about just, you know, like normal families. I think so. I think you just kind of sit together and you enjoy each other's company. And like, I mean, when they saw Daddy, we had long discussions about that, you know, especially the elder one. She got really intrigued. Like, how did you do that? You know, you really worked really hard.
She wanted to understand the process, like how did you get into the skill?
Yeah, oh, wow. Like how did you do that? And, you know, like, wow, I didn't realize you were going through all of that. So it's good.
The whole, I was quite particularly impressed by the latter part of Gauli, which you play, you know, where you have this hooded eyes sort of a feel, you know, which is not so much in the earlier part of it, and which is quite interesting as a physical transformation.
Yeah, it's also to get the age in there, you know?
Yeah. No, but it was definitely like a transformation which you could feel that, okay, now this character has sort of moved.
Yeah, it's great because, and it's not just me. It's not just about me. It's about the team again. Yeah. You know, if Oshim didn't see it like that, or if, you know, the makeup guys didn't do the job. Like they didn't do it like that. The costumes. Then of course you work also as an actor, you know, if it's not shot like that, you know. So, and the lighting. So everything kind of has to flow.
And, you know, I mean, you've done so well for yourself, for brilliant movies coming up again. But I have to ask you about your looks, you know, beauty with brains. So what percentage of your success would you credit to beauty and how much to brains?
I think I would give, it's not brains.
It's not brains.
It's not beauty.
Okay.
It's passion. You know, I think whatever I am today and wherever I am today is because of how passionate I am about what I do.
So undying passion
Yeah,
for acting in movies.
that's it.
So looking forward to many more great movies and a lot more passion.
Thank you.
Arjun. Thank you for joining me.
It has been a pleasure.
Such a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
take
you.
care.